Good morning, everyone, and welcome to my podcast. My name is Lynette. Today we're going to talk about learning to trust yourself again. And by that, I mean, I subtly noticed I would see so many ads for creams, for looking younger, for this, for that. And our whole focus is on looking a certain way, impressing others. Instead, trusting yourself, doing things not to impress others, but to impress yourself, being totally comfortable with who you are. You would naturally make a good impression because you're impressing yourself. I want to share with you an epiphany I had the other day. I bought this cream, it was latest and greatest. A celebrity was using it, blah, blah, blah. And I realized I was subtly falling into that trap of getting 5 different things for my hair, my skin, dressing a certain way. And without even realizing it, I was doing that. And I was giving other people too much power. So yesterday, I woke up and it was like an epiphany. It hit me to just totally accept myself as I am. I'm going to back up here and I'm going to say something I think we probably have all experienced, and that is you will take a picture yourself and you think, oh, I don't like that picture. I look this way or that way. And then 5 years later, you look at that picture and you think, oh, I didn't look too bad then. So we're always chasing our own tail. Why is it we're not satisfied with who we are at that moment? And why we feel the need to do so much to impress other people? And I'm not saying by any means don't take care of yourself. I'm stressing it even more because we should take care of ourselves. But we should do it for us. And if we do it for us, it automatically translates into how others observe us. But the big picture is, and the confidence building that it is you don't care so much. You know that you're good because you feel good on the inside. And speaking of feeling good on the inside, when you take care of yourself, when you're eating right, when you're exercising, when you're walking in confidence, it's also brings you closer to God. You seem to have more of a spiritual connection. I don't know what it is. I don't know how that works. Other than when you eat right, I think your mind doesn't wander off so much. You're more focused. You're more in the zones. And I think therefore you can be open to getting spiritual messages. It's really a win-win situation to take care of yourself for you. Every day, I get up, put on my makeup, comb my hair, blah, 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 get totally dressed, and people say, why do you do that? No, you're not seeing anyone today. Just hang out in your jammies or whatever. And it's like, it doesn't matter. I do it for me. But if somebody should come over, and if somebody should want me to go somewhere, I'm totally ready. But when this epiphany came yesterday, it's the first time I ever felt it so strongly. We've talked about gratitude, and that's being grateful for who you are, what you look like, your hair, your nails, your skin, everything about you. You got to be grateful instead of always looking at it. I'm going to get this done. I'm going to get that done. Then I'll look this way or that way. But instead, be grateful for who and what you are right now. And in doing so, you can walk in absolute trust because you feel confident about yourself. I know I have, and you probably have too, met someone, by all rights, in today's standards, you would think, oh, they must feel funny about this or that. And they don't. They're just like the most confident beings in the world. And it shows. Some people just exude confidence. And it's because they're comfortable with who they are. Instead of focusing so much on how others perceive us or view us, you just walk in knowing who you are and let the others worry about how we look at or perceive them. And hopefully they're at a place in life where they're confident enough to not care, to just be themselves. And it's a win-win. It's almost an illusion that goes through our heads trying to figure out how other people observe us, and what freedom and what weight is lifted by not caring so much about how other people view your appearance. But there's a knowing within yourself that you're the best that you can be, that you're doing it for you. And when you do something for yourself, I believe there's that gratefulness within you if you are taking care of you. And there's a confidence that comes along with that, just knowing that you can depend on you and you are being the best you can be 24/7 because you're doing it for yourself and it's instilled within you. I honestly can't stress this enough. I look back on my own life and I remember walking in front of people and thinking, oh my gosh, worrying about how you looked, how you this, how you that. That is an extraordinary amount of pressure that you put on yourself. And the big picture is the people probably don't even really care what you look like or how you're coming across. But in my own head, I would do that to myself. And it was just a lot of stress, a lot of pressure. Then fast forward to this mobility problem. Sometimes when we go through trials, it's to learn a lesson. And I think that was my lesson. I got totally humbled. But now I realize, and excuse a cliche, but it is what it is. So I enter the room as I am. And the funny thing about it is everything has worked out better. It's worked out far better than when I used to try, when I would go to the maximum trying to do this or look this way or look that way. Now I can't. I'm totally humbled. I come as I am. I do what I can do to take care of myself. And it has actually worked out much better. So this whole journey, this whole health journey, I can almost see what lessons were involved in it and what I've learned. And so I'm just going to share with you, so hopefully you will not have to go through the same thing. But what an epiphany it was yesterday to wake up and really feel it. And it made me realize sometimes things don't click in. You hear words, it kind of makes sense. But sometimes it takes until you experience it and feel it yourself for that light bulb to go off. And the light bulb was just accepting myself as I am. And it made me so much more relaxed with everything. Because really nothing changes. You still take care of yourself. Pick out the clothes you want, do your exercises, eat right, etc., etc. But the big picture is there's not stress with it because you're not doing it for anyone else. You're doing it for you. And therefore, a tremendous amount of pressure has left. And then you walk in confidence because you know that no matter what room you enter, you're your best. But it doesn't matter because you don't even think about that. You almost let that part of it go and just walk in being your best. You don't have to tell yourself anymore, I am my best. You just always are your best within any situation, with anything you do. You're going to say the right thing, you're going to do the right thing without the pressure of trying to impress someone. How freeing it is to not evolve your life around the exterior world. You're free to enjoy the things that make you happy. It's only your inner world, inner self, that you should impress, whatever that looks like. whether it be take a class, do more exercises, whatever. It's all about you taking care of yourself. And it does not come from a place of being selfish. It's quite the contrary, because when you are 100% evolved in who you are and who you're supposed to be, what a gift to give to others. I mean, even your presence is better, your personality. You can express love freely because you aren't holding back. It's not limited to taking care of yourself, your appearance, and so forth, but it's walking in absolute trust. God has answered so many of my prayers. I've gotten audio input, which I feel is from Him on a spiritual level, but for some reason on my health, I haven't gotten any messages on that. So what I realized yesterday when I was having my epiphany is even that, even when we don't feel like our prayers are being heard, they are being heard. But sometimes you wonder, I get that. But it's also walking in trust. In other words, no matter what you feel like, no matter what's going on, you got to believe that God is guiding you. God's got it. And you walk in absolute trust. And that is also so freeing. And that was also an epiphany. Instead of dissecting each situation in my life, wanting this answer and that answer, just have a blanket trust. As you walk, everything that you have need of will be taken care of. But also, as you go through life, trusting yourself more, feeling good about yourself, trusting God. And as things are working out for you, it's so important to remain humble. This all goes full circle. I believe you remain humble because, again, you're not getting the kudos from the exterior world. You feel good about yourself. You feel really good about you. And therefore, it's easier to remain humble. But it is very important also to remain humble, no matter how good things are going for you. I believe in giving gratitude where it's due, and give your gratitude to God for what He's done for you to get you to that place. But in terms of the exterior world, remain a humble human being and let your confidence be within. There's something else I want to share with you that's unrelated. And the reason I'm sharing this is because I think it can help a lot of people. But of course, do your research because it's still something that is considered experimental. I'm not promoting it. I'm just suggesting that it's worth looking into. And that is something called PRP. It's the acronym for plasma-rich platelet. Do a search on it. It will come up. Well, I want to explain to you how it started. I had to do a phone interview with a doctor, and I told him I had a torn rotator cuff. He suggested something called PRP. I didn't know what that was, nor had I ever heard of it. And then I took notes, but I had forgotten about it. Then fast forward to a year or so later, a friend of mine said she was going to UC San Francisco to have PRP done in her back. And I said, "What is that?" She explained that they draw some of your blood, they spin it real fast, separating the blood from the platelets. Then they inject the platelets back into you, and it promotes healing and helps to alleviate pain. So I said, that sounds familiar. So I looked at my notes from that doctor, and sure enough, he did talk about PRP. So in being interested in it, I went to see an orthopedic doctor. Now, mind you, over the years, I've been to a lot of doctors, and not one has ever mentioned this to me. I brought it up to him, And he said, yeah, we can do it. And I believe he said it was FDA approved, but it's still considered experimental. So the insurance doesn't usually pay for it. So I had the blood drawn. They spun it. It only took 9 minutes to spin it. Injected it back into my arms. And I got to tell you, it has helped for sure. They said it takes 3 months. It's been about not quite 1 month. And it's made a difference. So a few days ago, I went back to another doctor because I hurt my ankle badly. And I said, I want PRP. And he tried to talk me out of it. I'm not sure why. But I said, no, I definitely want it. And so he injected it in my ankle. And it already feels better. And so since this was such a big secret, I'm sharing it with you. I'm not promoting it. I think it's worth you checking into if you're having any kind of problems in any of your joints. If any of you have had PRP or are planning to, I would love to hear your experience or what your thoughts are on it. You can message me by clicking the fan mail button. With that being said, I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.